Steve will be honest. He'll be very humble about it and boring. But I wanted to ask you: is FSU, are they going to be are they competitive enough to win a national championship in this upcoming season?
They are competitive enough. I don't know if they're deep enough. Meaning, I don't know if they have the depth of a Georgia, Alabama. We saw it this year against the teams that we lost: Wake Forest, NC State, and Clemson. By the time that we got to those games, our defensive line was so beat up that we really couldn't stop the run very well, which became pretty evident in all those games. So I think we have the surface level talent to get there, potentially win it. I don't know if we have the depth because offensive and defensive lines just get shattered usually by your fourth or fifth game.
That's a fair assessment. I think getting there, the path getting there isn't
like
as
that's the answer that you're sufficient for.
No, I'm happy with that. The path getting there isn't as bumpy as people would assume. Again, winning the ACC, it should be pretty simple this year. Wake Forest is going to be down, who you lost to last year. NC State lost their quarterback; they should be down this year. Clemson's going to be Clemson. You always got you never know what you're going to get out of them. But look, you got to go through Florida. Florida State, in my opinion, what's going to hold them back. Now, Florida's not going to keep them out of the ACC championship, so disregard that because they could lose that game. But LSU first game of season 2 is not going to be a cakewalk. So, look, in all fairness, you got a pretty tough little schedule you got put together here. But winning the ACC is very doable. I would say you guys are probably favored, if not second, to win the ACC. I'm not sure yet, but competitively, I think you're kind of nailed on the head. The depth. Look, I think because the path, you could be in the conversation very much so, very, very, very easily. You got to go undefeated. I think maybe one loss. Definitely win the ACC.
It had to be early. It'd have to be like
I think if you go undefeated and lose to Florida and then win the ACC championship and Clemson has maybe one loss, or you wouldn't play Clemson, right? No, you wouldn't play Clemson. Maybe
we would have to play them twice. No. We have the model that the SEC is going to, where we don't really have East and West or Atlantic and Coastal anymore. It's already like that now. So that when we go in next year, it's just the two teams with the best overall conference ranking. So if we beat Clemson, we have to play them again, which we could very well lose the ACC championship and knock us out. Or we could lose to Clemson and get some redemption, which would give us a pretty big boost at the end of the season. So that's going to be a different dynamic there.
Here's what concerns me. I think you lost the 3 games, NC State, Wake Forest, and Clemson, with very, very ugly losses. And the big wins that you had were, and I'm not taking any credit away, but the LSU wasn't really an impressive win because I think LSU ended up really well, but you caught LSU at the perfect time. The perfect time. It's kind of like Florida catching Utah. You look at the end of the year, you're like, Florida's not better than Utah. Like, well, we beat them, right? Well, we caught them at the right time, right? Sure. So that was, in my opinion, Florida against LSU. You beat a down Florida team, right? The other big games that mattered that you were ready, and you beat Miami. Miami wasn't good. The other 3 teams that you needed to beat, you couldn't get it done. And so that is where, for me, if I'm a Florida State fan, what concerned me is you didn't get it done in the big games. And what makes you think that you're going to go out there and blow it out this year? Again, Jordan Walker. His name's Jordan Walker, right? What's his name?
Who's that?
Quarterback? Jordan Travis. Excuse me. Jordan Travis, obviously a Heisman favorite, top 5 Heisman favorite for a lot of people. A lot of excitement behind him. Jaheim Bell coming in, top tier tight end. Phenomenal job in the transfer portal, which to me hasn't proven to be all that successful just yet. I mean, I think it shows that you can put a team together that's competitive, that can win 10 games, that can win 11 games. But is it going to do enough to get it done? Kind of going back to that March Madness, right? You kind of lose that growth and that progression over 3 to 4 years with the same guys, and you're dialed in. Florida State is really piecing together each year, and they're competitive, right? But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, are they going to be able to put them over the top? And right, I'm not sold on them yet. And obviously, I'm a Florida fan, so there's a little bit of bias there. But based on those things, that's why I'm not sold.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you there. And look, you can only get lucky. And look, I say lucky, but I think obviously Mike Norvell knows what he's doing in the portal. But you also really need the right players to go into the portal to even have the availability to get them. And if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't matter how good you can manipulate your way through the portal. If the players that you need simply aren't there, or that you just can't get them interested in you, you're going to have a hard time, right? Which is kind of where the 2024 class being ranked 6th and already having our quarterback, and I know that's a huge thing for Florida right now to have Lagway, for Florida State to already have their quarterback in the class for that for that year is going to be big, because we're going to have to do this whole song and dance routine of going into the portal to get a quarterback next year as well. AJ Duffy and Tate Rodemaker are not the guys, and I don't think that bringing in Luke Kromenhoek, which is our 2024 top 10 guy at quarterback, he's not going to be ready. So we're going to have to be kind of where Florida was this year, where we got to get a guy in there that's going to be ready to give us some production at that position, to give Kromenhoek time to be ready to take over.